What's up, guys? I'm No Shelter, and this is my Fusion Cup tournament in Go Stadium. My team for this tournament is going to be Frostlass, Shiftry, Wizcash, Heracross, Noctowl, Probopass. And my first round opponent is going to be Shell 1280. And Shell's team is going to be Altaria, Golbat, Alolan Ninetales, Bronzong, Frostlass, Wizcash. Jumping into game number 1, Shiftry versus Frostlass. We've each committed a shield here. We're going to be able to spam this foul play so fast that even though we're weak to Avalanche, we're just going to be able to beat them to the charge move. They're not going to commit a second shield here. And then they're going to bring out Wizcash. Interesting decision to bring out the Wizcash. 2 times weak to grass. Leaf Blade is going to nearly KO a Wizcash from full health. So they're going to commit their second shield there. We're going to go ahead and shield this. I'm sure it's a Mud Bomb, but we're not going to take any chances. I feel like whatever's in the back might also be weak to Shiftry, so we're just trying to preserve the Shiftry's health. So we're going to KO the Wizcash with the Leaf Blade, and then out comes Bronzong. We're going to hit him with a foul play. And this is going to do a ton of damage to Bronzong. Very tanky Pokemon. They're going to be able to get this Psyshock in. And it's not going to KO us. And then we're going to be able to faint down with Snarl. So GG. Match number 2, Heracross versus Altaria. This is a terrible match for Heracross. So I'm going to switch into my Wizcash. Wizcash is generally not a good Pokemon to have switch locked when your opponent is not switch locked. However, if you notice, Shell's team does not have a grass type Pokemon. So anyway, we're going to go straight for this Blizzard. Shell is going to opt not to shield, and it is going to be very costly. Altaria is going to go down in one shot to that Blizzard. 2 times weak to Ice is Altaria. Out comes Frostlass. Go for the Mud Bomb. We're going to catch a shield there for Frostlass. Go for another Mud Bomb. Catch shield number 2, so my opponent is now out of shields. I'm going to opt not to shield the Wizcash. Now, looking back, this was a little bit of a silly mistake to not shield Wizcash, as it was my only Frostlass counter. Both of my remaining Pokemon are weak to Ice. Fortunately for me, my opponent decides to switch out Frostlass and bring in Golbat to catch my close combat there. Very nice timing on that switch. I'm going to counter switch to my Noctowl, and we're going to go ahead and take out the Golbat with our Noctowl. Now, as I said before, Frostlass is a pretty good counter for Noctowl. Fortunately for me, I do have 2 shields. Now, the fast move damage is coming through like crazy. It's doing a lot of work to Noctowl, but we are able to double shield our Noctowl there, take out Frostlass, and that will be the end of game 2. Unfortunately, was not able to get battle number 3 with Shell into this video. GG Shell. Jumping into match number 2. Cosmo94S is my opponent, and their team is Venusaur, Noctowl, Wizcash, Alolan Ninetales, Blaziken, Probopass. Close combat does quite a bit of damage to Noctowl, and I'm going to switch out into Frostlass, and from here we should be able to farm down the Noctowl. And then out will come Probopass, and I'm going to throw my energy. Shadow Ball does a decent bit to Probopass. Going to go ahead and let the Frostlass go, because he's just going to farm me down if I don't anyway. So I'm going to bring in Heracross, and he's immediately going to switch out into Whiscash. Still not a terrible matchup. I do have Whiscash in the back, so gonna go ahead and commit a shield here and try to get to this close combat. And big mistake, I did not get to the close combat. Gonna let all that energy go to waste, and then out is gonna come my Whiscash, and this is not a good situation here. Gonna go for the Mud Bomb, not even trying to self piggyback. I do have quite a bit more health than this Whiscash does, and they have now used their shield. Hits me with the Blizzard. Probopass in the back, trying to get me to throw the charge move, and I did not go for it. Wound up being a little bit of extra energy, and he's going to bring out Whiscash, and we are going to hit him with the Blizzard. So GG there. Jumping into the next battle, we have Whiscash versus Noctowl. This is not a very good situation for Whiscash. In order for Whiscash to win this matchup in the one shield, you have to be able to land the Blizzard. Get the mud bomb bait. I'm going to not shield here. Go for the Blizzard, hoping to catch him off guard. They are not fooled. Cosmo is going to go ahead and shield his Noctowl, so I'm going to switch out into Frostlass. Going to get up enough energy here to throw a Shadow Ball at this Blaziken, which is going to do tremendous damage if unshielded. And he does not shield the Shadow Ball. It is going to nearly one-shot Blaziken. Brings out Alola Ninetales against Frostlass. Now, this charm damage is going to be massive. I'm just going to go for Avalanche here, just for chip damage. And it does quite a bit. Catching a shield on the Frostlass before going down. Now I'm in a pretty good situation. I've got 2 shields, Probopass against this Alola Ninetales. They're gonna switch, but I am not gonna counter switch. Probopass is going to be an absolute wall for Noctowl and Alola Ninetales. I'm just going to farm up here. Getting ready to go for the Rock Slide. Was not counting. Was trying to keep them from being able to do a charge move. But one comes through. It's not that big of a deal. Now, this Rock Slide is going to KO the Noctowl and Alola Ninetales in the back. Has a charge move. I do have 2 shields. I know nothing can KO, but just to be safe, I'm going to throw up the shield. This was probably not necessary, but we're going to throw the Rock Slide and take the next game. With the Game 2 win there, that's going to give me round number 2 in this tournament. Jumping into the third game with Cosmo, I lead Frostlass. Cosmo leads Alola Ninetales. I'm going to go straight for this Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball now does do quite a bit of damage. They're going to opt not to shield. So they're going to throw their charge move, and I'm going to opt not to shield. I'm going to bring in Probopass, who is going to farm down the Alola Ninetales, and then out comes Whiscash, and this is not a good situation. You can see I tried to switch there a little late on the switch, and it's going to cost me a shield because Mud Bomb will do quite a bit of damage to my Probopass. So I'm going to switch in my Noctowl. Gonna not shield. I thought it was a bait. He hits me with the Blizzard. Brings in their own Noctowl. I'm going to throw Sky Attack. But they are going to be able to farm me down there. And I've got my Probopass with the Rock Slide. They're going to opt not to shield. They didn't need to. It's one shield versus one shield. Whiscash versus Probopass. This is not a very good situation. I'm in big trouble. I will get to this, but unfortunately they do have a shield, and they will use it. And game number 3 will belong to Cosmo, as he will hit me with the mud bomb and KO. GG's Cosmo. Jumping into round number 3, my opponent is Terry92X, and Terry's team is going to consist of Bronzong, Noctowl, Altaria, Swampert, Weavile, and Alolan Muck. Noticing again that my opponent has 4 Pokemon that lose to Probopass, and then 2 hard counters. So in this Swampert versus Whiscash match, I'm throwing a Mud Bomb. I do catch a shield here, able to get to another Mud Bomb. He's going to get to a Hydro Cannon very quickly. Both of these Pokemon just spam their charge moves so fast. Gonna opt not to shield here. I think I needed to probably switch out sooner, maybe not letting Whiscash go so soon now. But hindsight's usually 20/20, right? So anyway, bring in Frostlass. Gonna go for this Avalanche, and it's gonna go ahead and knock out the Swampert. This is not a good situation. Frostlass versus Weavile. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch out to catch this Avalanche. Foul play with my Probopass. Now, I feel like it was a mistake, maybe a misclick for them to switch out into Noctowl, because now I'm going to be able to farm up energy on this Noctowl. Even if they're getting to a Nightshade, which is neutral, it's just not going to do much damage. Probopass is such a tank. I'm going to go ahead and go for this Rock Slide and throw my energy. And I have enough for another Rock Slide to take out Weavile in the back, and that is going to be it for game 1. Gonna take game number 1. GG there. Jumping into game number 2. Just got the right call. Probopass versus Noctowl. This is not a good situation for the Noctowl, so they're going to opt to switch out. I tried to farm up a little bit, and Probopass a little blocky on the switch. Fortunately, these things are supposed to be fixed now, and switches are going to now be queued into the sequence, so looking forward to that. Really excited about the new changes coming into the game. Getting back to this battle here, I'm going to go ahead and farm down this Swampert. I'm not in a good situation. I do have a ton of energy, but I do not have any shields. Fortunately, I do have enough for 2 close combats here. I was able to farm up on the Swampert pretty good. This is going to drop my defense twice per turn, or per charge move. I did force 1 shield on the Noctowl and was able to get it pretty low. So come in with my Probopass and take out the Noctowl. Now, Altaria coming in here. Altaria does do quite a bit of damage to Altaria, but Dragon Breath does a lot of damage to Probopass as well. So they switch out, or I decide to switch out into my Frostlass. Gonna go ahead and just go for this Avalanche and take the game. So GG. Game number 3 versus Terry. They're going to lead out Weavile, and I'm going to lead Frostlass. This is not a good situation for my Frostlass, so I'm going to switch out in the Probopass, and Terry is going to counter switch me to this with his Swampert. This is definitely not a good situation for me. Swampert is just going to completely and utterly destroy Probopass. So I'm just going to try to throw as much damage as I can and let it go. He's going to farm me down here. This Swampert has a ton of energy in the back. I'm going to get to this Avalanche. And Swampert is definitely going to shield. Like I said, got quite a bit of energy, so he's going to make me use my shields. So I'm going to opt to double shield my Frostlass, hoping to win back switch advantage here. And Hydro Cannon is going to come through. It's going to do a ton of damage to my Frostlass. I am going to be able to KO this Swampert finally and get it out of there, but it has just done so much work to my team already. He's going to bring out the Weavile, and I switch out to take the Avalanche with my Whiscash. He still has a shield, but I'm in a desperate situation. I have to go for the Blizzard anyway. Of course, he's going to shield and farm down my Whiscash. I'm going to throw the Sky Attack, which is going to KO my Whiscash. Now, I am going to be able to get to this Avalanche, but I think it's too little too late. It will one-shot the Altaria, but Weavile is going to be able to come in and fast move down. GG's, Terry. Jumping into the 4th round of this 5-round tournament, my opponent was Swan Ronson. And his team is going to be Shiftry, Alola Marowak, Whiscash, Bronzong, Noctowl, Wigglytuff. And we catch the Wigglytuff lead with our Whiscash. We are going to be able to spam these Mud Bombs out. Miss a few bubbles there because my phone battery's dying. So probably should do something about that. That charm damage is doing... is just coming through like crazy. So we're just trying to get off as many Mud Bombs as possible. Now, we are in a good situation. This Wigglytuff is way low on health, and we are up a shield. So I'm going to come down and farm out this Wigglytuff, but they are going to switch and bring out Bronzong, which is a pretty good counter to my Probopass, but I do have Shiftry in the back, so I'm going to bring it out and put it versus this Bronzong. Shiftry is going to resist all of Bronzong's moves, while this Foul Play is going to be super effective to Bronzong. I'm going to go ahead and let the Bronzong go. Wigglytuff coming out against my Shiftry is not good. I'm actually not real sure why I shield here, because Wigglytuff is just going to do crazy amount of damage to Wigglytuff or to Shiftry, and I tried to farm down there, and you can see that I just lost a ton of energy. Fortunately, I do have my Probopass in the back with a shield versus his Noctowl, so this is going to be pretty comfortable. No charge move that Noctowl has is going to do very much damage to Probopass. I am going to go ahead and go for the Rock Slides to KO to take game number 1 in round number 4. GG. So, jumping into battle number 2, Whiscash versus Shiftry. Now, this is not a good situation. I need to get out of here. Little blocky on my switching. Able to catch the Leaf Blade with my Probopass. Leaf Blade is going to do a ton of damage to Probopass. I say a ton, maybe a third. But my opponent decides not to switch. Going to keep Shiftry in. I'm going to throw up a shield here for one of these Leaf Blades, hoping to get to this Stone Edge. Able to get it get to the, I said Stone Edge, I meant Rock Slide. Able to get to the Rock Slide there, but tried to overfarm, and I know that Snarl just generates so much energy on Shiftry, so he is able to get to another Leaf Blade, forcing me to use my shield in order to throw that energy. So yeah, mistake on my part. I am going to farm it down and bring it really low. And out comes Frostlass to farm down the Shiftry. Now, this is not a good situation. We both have 2 Pokemon, and my opponent is up a shield, and out comes Wigglytuff. So I'm going to overfarm a little bit and throw this Avalanche. It would not be a good idea to throw a Shadow Ball because Wiggly type is neutral and Ghost is going to be double resisted by neutral. So I'm going to go Avalanche, get to the second Avalanche here, and it's going to do quite a bit of damage. So Wigglytuff, very low health here. I'm going to bring out my Whiscash to feint the Wigglytuff with Mud Bomb, and out comes Bronzong. This is going to be a close match. Trying to go for the self piggyback here. Confusion does quite a bit of damage. The Psyshock does a little bit, about a quarter damage, and going for the self piggyback. Gonna get this Mud Bomb off. And it's going to take about half of the Bronzong's remaining health. Not able to get to the self-piggyback, but I was able to get to another Mud Bomb, and this will KO the Bronzong. Very good games there. Coming down to the wire. Jumping into battle number 3. Whiscash versus Wigglytuff. Wigglytuff is just mauling Whiscash. Charm just does so much damage. I'm going for the self piggyback here, and gonna be able to force the shield. I am going to get the self piggyback and gonna get off another Mud Bomb. Gonna bring Wigglytuff way low. And I was able to take a shield, so I'm just going to let Whiscash go. I'm pretty comfortable with this situation. I'm going to bring in Probopass, not to be farmed down. They switch out into Alola Marowak. This is not a good situation for Alola Marowak because I'm running Rock Throw on my Probopass. Rock Throw is just going to do a ton of damage to Alola Marowak, but those Fire Spins are doing quite a bit of damage to Probopass as well. Have to shield it, to get to the Bone Club. Was able to farm it down low. He does get to another Bone Club, and I'm going to opt not to shield here. So I bring out Shiftry with 1 shield versus Wigglytuff, and Wigglytuff is just going to maul my Shiftry before going down, unfortunately. But good thing for me, the Pokemon in the back was Whiscash, and I did have enough energy to throw a Leaf Blade. So very good games, very close battles, very fun. I have loved this cup so far. So round number 5, my final opponent was Naoto. I'm really so sorry for butchering your name. But their team is going to be Whiscash, Noctowl, Victreebel, Alolan Sandslash, Altaria, Alolan Marowak. So game number 1, not a very good situation for the Noctowl. We're just going to be able to farm down with Rock Throw. Now, this isn't going to be a good situation for me because I am farming down this Noctowl, but I am still switch locked, and these rock slides are going to be not very effective against Whiscash here. So just trying to get off as much as I can before it goes down. Gonna just let it go. Now, of course, I'm coming back out with Shiftry because we all know about Whiscash's grass weakness. So I'm going to go ahead and come out, put on big shield pressure for this Whiscash. I don't need to shield here, except I do because he had enough for Blizzard, and fortunately I was able to catch that. Alolan Marowak comes out. And this is not really a good situation either. Foul play is just going to do a ton of damage with shields down. And those fire spins, though, they are going to hurt Shiftry. But it's just so fast, I'm able to get to another foul play to knock out the Alolan Marowak. And then with Whiscash, these Mud Bombs are going to be resisted, or Mud Shots are going to be resisted. Mud Bomb is also going to be resisted, but fortunately, I have a Frostlass in the back with full health, and we're able to get to this Avalanche to KO the Whiscash in game number 1. So GG, and thanks for the charge TM. We know how hard those are to get. So, going into game number 2, Frostlass versus Alolan Marowak. This is definitely not good for me. Fire Spin does a lot of damage to Frostlass, and I'm not in a good situation here. If you look at both of my Pokemon in the back, have hard counters on Naoto's team. So, had I switched in Whiscash and they had Victory Bell, he's just going to chomp me away. Or if I switch in Probopass and they have Whiscash, they're just going to be able to farm me down. So really not a good situation at all. Fortunately for me, they opt to stay in with the Alolan Marowak and switches out to catch this Mud Bomb. Very nice switch. It's not going to do very much damage at all to Noctowl. But swapping in Noctowl is a little strange with a Probopass presence, and I did bring it on the first game. So I'm just going to go ahead and farm down this Noctowl and store up a bunch of energy. And Whiscash is going to come in. Unfortunately, Whiscash is going to resist these rock slides. I am going to be able to get to a second one here. And Whiscash is going to try to farm me down. Had enough for a Mud Bomb there. I'm going to get off another rock slide. And but they're going to continue the farm down. Now Whiscash has a bunch of energy. So I'm going to bring in Frostlass to tank some of this energy in Mud Bombs. Gonna throw a Mud Bomb and immediately switch into a Alolan Marowak. Very nice catch. When I had an Avalanche ready, they're gonna go ahead and shield the Alolan Marowak because they weren't ready for it to go down. Has a Bone Club. Looks like they purposefully missed some bubbles there to farm down. Very nice play. I'm going to be able to farm down this Alolan Marowak, but not before the Bone Club. And my opponent has a Mud Bomb ready, and so do I, and they hit it first. And so he's going to take game number 2. So big pressure situation. Game number 3 coming in. Shiftry versus that Victory Bell. I'm not really sure how I feel about this matchup until after. Whenever they don't shield this foul play, I feel a little bit better about it, and then decide to switch out. Tried to farm it down, but it is going to go off and get that Leaf Blade, forcing me to shield my Frostlass. Now I am switch locked, and they bring out Whiscash. Avalanche is going to do pretty good amount of damage to Whiscash. I won't be able to get to it as fast as Whiscash can get to Mud Bomb, though. Looks like they're just storing up energy. Will opt to shield. Probably going for that self-piggyback. Switches out immediately to this Alolan Sandslash. Now, I have a bunch of energy. This is questionable whether I should have shielded this or not. But I do go for the Shadow Ball, and it does land. So very lucky on my part that I was able to land that Shadow Ball, as it done a lot of damage to Alolan Sandslash. Now, I don't have any shields, and this is definitely a Bulldoze, so it is going to do a bunch of damage, and then his Whiscash is going to come back in and already has a Mud Bomb ready, so my Probopass is just going to get 8 alive there. I'm going to go for this Leaf Blade. Now, my opponent has a shield, but they just expended all their energy, and I was so worried that he was going to get to Blizzard here, but I was able to get to the Leaf Blade before my opponent gets to the Blizzard and knocks me out. So very good games, very close battles. Really enjoy battling with these guys. Go Stadium is definitely fun. Love PvP. But if you enjoyed this content and you would like to see more of it, practice battles and covering future tournaments, battle strategies, etc., go ahead and give me a like and hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.